Are you tired of constantly feeling stressed and pressured to succeed? And do you feel like your setbacks and your failures have you questioning your self worth or even your potential? Well, this video is definitely for you. You're definitely not alone in this. Everyone experiences this, especially when you're in a high achieving culture. And I'm going to teach you exactly why you're experiencing this and also how to overcome it with a growth mindset. So, first, we need to understand why you're experiencing this in the first place. Well, it's actually because there's this misconception that your self worth is directly tied to your professional achievements. And the problem with that is that it creates and reinforces a fixed mindset. And what that does is it impedes you from growing because it tells you that you need to prove yourself constantly to yourself and to everyone else, and that you are only valuable when you are succeeding. So if you are trying new things and you are putting yourself out there and you fail, you are no longer considered worthy or valuable, or that is diminished from your reputation. That is what we're trying to overcome because you should not be feeling this way and people should not be treating you this way. Your value is not derived from your job title, from your professional achievements. That's simply what you do. It's not who you are. So let's talk about how we actually got into this circumstances. Why do we have this environment in the first place? The reality is, if you're watching this video, you've probably been told or even maybe consider yourself a high achiever or an ambitious individual. And that comes with several caveats. I actually don't like those descriptions at all. And I don't think that's how we should define who people are because it's not who we are. But what happens is we're surrounded by this, high achieving work culture that reinforces this mindset. When people tell you you're smart, you went to a great school, you did very well, you have a ton of potential, right? You hear that a lot. Oh, you have so much potential, you just have to apply yourself. When you hear that, you associate that with who you are, and everything that you do needs to prove that right. And when that's proved wrong, you start to question who you are. That is the problem. That is what we're trying to separate the identity from the pursuit of growth, because they shouldn't be the same thing. They aren't. But we've been told and conditioned to treat them as one and the same. And then what happens is when we don't reach those goals, meet those expectations, we find ourselves losing ourselves in the process. And to avoid being in that situation, we constantly pursue success and achievement because we're so afraid of ending up not only with nothing, but ending up not knowing who we are. And that is the problem. The reality is, this entire concept that I'm talking about can be boiled down to two types of mindsets: a fixed mindset and a growth mindset. Andrew Huberman, he's a neuroscientist that I'm sure many people watching this are very familiar with, and he differentiates the two mindsets very well. What he does is he explains that a growth mindset actually separates your pursuit of growth with your identity. What it does is it's the mindset and the belief that if you apply yourself and you work towards something, you can get better at things. But a fixed mindset tells you that if you do something and you fail or you're challenged, you will always fail and you will always be bad at that thing. And that's because you don't have the capabilities of performing well in that area. Those are the two different types of mindsets. I'm sure I don't have to explain it, but I will anyways. The fixed mindset is not what we want. It keeps us in our place. It holds us in a negative space for one, whereas a growth mindset takes our identity out of the equation and it just challenges us to become better. It says, okay, I'm not doing well in this area. What can I do now? Where can I go from here? How can I apply myself? What learnings and feedback do I have that I can now iterate my approach for next time? that continuous approach, that learning mindset, that's the growth mindset. That is what we're trying to get to, so that you can free yourself of this stress and this pressure to constantly achieve, to meet these arbitrary levels of success that you've defined yourself, that have been reinforced by the work culture you find yourself in. That is what we're trying to do. And I'm going to teach you exactly how to do that with 3 strategies. But before we get into that, if you're liking this video so far, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe to my channel for more inspiring personal development content. Okay, the meat and potatoes. How do we get from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset? Well, most people actually go about this the wrong way. What they do is, like I said, they have that constant pursuit of success and achievement so that you can avoid being in that circumstance where you fail and you lose everything in your eyes, right? So the reason that that's a problem, right? People might think, oh, like it's good. That's actually growth, right? You're pushing yourself to become better, but you're actually not. That's actually a false reality, because what you're doing is you're building a very fragile foundation for your self-esteem. You're telling yourself that it's dependent on the result, but there's only so much you can control with the result. You control the action. The result is the result despite the action. So knowing that foundation needs to be as solid as possible. Your self-esteem should remain despite you succeeding or failing. Now, of course, we all have feelings. You're going to be disappointed in yourself. You're not going to feel great when you fail, but that shouldn't stop you from your future actions. And that's the key factor here. So we want to ensure we're building that solid foundation. And the way you can do that is with 3 strategies. The first strategy comes down to your goal setting. Instead of setting goals that are results and achievement based, set goals that are actions based. Let me give you an example. Instead of saying, I want this promotion by X time, you say, I'm going to prove my skills every single day, whatever those skills are. Obviously, be specific, follow the SMART goals framework. I'm just giving a generic examples. But the point is that you want to be as specific as possible on the action that you need to take of someone who would have achieved that goal. So if you were promoted, what would that person have done to get promoted? What are the actions they would have taken? Those actions, those are your goals. The result will be the result. Now, the second step is to embrace failure, but actually learn from the mistakes. So how you do that is by seeking out feedback. And I know people say that all the time, like get feedback, when you fail, when you're challenged, and then you know what to do next time. But rarely, and honestly, rarely, and I'll even say this for myself, I recognize this all the time, are you applying that feedback, right? You kind of close the door and you're like, okay, I got the feedback, I get it. But you don't look back at your new experiences or whatever you're currently working on and saying, how am I applying that? Where's the proof point that I am applying that feedback right now? That is the key. You want to make sure that you're actually able to map out the feedback to your current actions or your soon to be current actions. That is a big piece of advice. I actually learned this, I wouldn't say like the hard way, but I definitely learned this from my own experience, where I definitely noticed that feedback cycle wasn't actually going all the way. It stopped at, okay, I got the feedback, like I did it. Not yet, right? You have half the equation. The other half is actually applying it. And once you have that feedback, you'll actually find that it's easier to overcome those challenges, because you'll find that it only takes 1 or 2 iterations or a few to implement the feedback, and you'll see that you'll literally see the path of growth that you've had, which is tremendous, right? Like that's great to see. That's the goal. And then my last piece of advice, and this is very much related to my values and everything that I stand for and what I talk about, is defining your personal growth beyond professional goals, right? Personal growth encompasses many things, right? For me, for instance, I focus on health, wellness, happiness overall, relationships, and then I have career and business. That's I literally just named 4 other areas of life that you can focus on. And then within each of those areas of life, there's several topics that you can cover that relate to your well-being and your fulfillment in life, right? So start pursuing that, right? Spend time with people that you love. Go try new things. Do the things that you enjoy, right? Leverage the stuff that you're doing in your professional life, implement that in your personal life, right? Connect those dots. And then what you're going to do is you're going to grow in all areas of your life instead of one and then have no balance because you're not really doing anything else in your life because you're so focused on your professional life. Then ultimately, you're not actually happy because you're living a life despite all your achievements, your titles, your accolades, but you have nobody to share it with, right? Your health is down the toilet, and you don't know who you are without your job. And those are 3 areas that I think are, are much scarier, at least to me, than not getting a promotion by a certain time in my life, right? The goal is balance. It's always about balance, right? We want to push ourselves to become better, right? We want to go after that promotion. We want to get it, but we want to do it for the right reasons. And we want to maintain our integrity as we're doing that. So I really hope that these 3 strategies helps you guys escape this constant pursuit of achievement, allow you to embrace failure and escape that fixed mindset and instead embrace a growth mindset. So just to recap the 3 strategies for you, the first one is to set goals that are action-based instead of achievement-based. The second strategy is to embrace failure by leveraging feedback and actually applying it to your next task. And then finally, it's look beyond your professional life for when it comes to pursuing personal development and consider those other areas of life so that you can find that balance. Now, remember, your personal development journey is up to you. When you're ready to escape this constant pursuit of growth, the stress, the pressure, you want to find this work-life balance, be happy and fulfilled in your life, then go ahead and book a call with me and we can discuss how I can help you. The link is in the description below, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.